Afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Kevin here from Watch This with Joe and Kevin, getting into the third episode of the second season of The Sopranos. A lot of revelation in the second season. Most notably, the one I forgot to mention, because I was so wrapped up in Janice's storyline, was that Sal apparently is a rat for the feds. Probably has been wearing a wire and has gotten away with it, largely, it looks like. I don't know how long that's going to play out. I mean, obviously, not knowing where the show goes. I don't know how long he's on the show. I don't know how the show ends. So, I mean, it's possible the show ends with Tony getting arrested, right? That would seem like a logical resolution to the show, and maybe Sal has something to do with that. But that seems like, we're at the beginning of season two. That would be an awful long game for that to work. So, there was a moment at the barbecue, right, where Tony was looking at him weird and seemed to kind of get the sense that maybe he wasn't being completely on the level. I chalk that up to instincts. Tony's been in this life for his entire, in this world for his entire life. So I'm expecting that it's not outside of all possibility that Tony just has instincts for these kind of things. It can kind of sense when something's off, which clearly it is. And he was suspicious of it before and looked like he had every right to be. The other storyline, of course, and the bigger one is, for me, is Janice and Livia and how their dynamics playing out. And I feel like Tony is going to find himself dragged into the middle. Livia, both of them really were trying in the last episode. Livia calling Carmela and Janice not letting it go at the dinner table before Tony said, fine, you two deserve each other, move in together. But I don't think it's going to be quite that simple. Livia knows it's not that simple. It looks like Janice was considering matricide there while she was visiting her in the hospital. She just wants the house. And, I haven't said it yet, but I'm sure everyone else has. Real shout out to the actors there. Nancy Marchand and Ada Torturo. I'm not sure if the ladies playing Livia and Janice, what kind of accolades they receive for this, what kind of praise, but they are crushing this. They are so wonderfully detestable on this show, and I think that's for me personally, my favorite kind of villain character is one that doesn't know they're a villain, right? They think that they're being completely reasonable, whereas the outsiders, us that are watching, can be like, oh no, there's something way off and awful about you. They both like to be victims. They both like to manipulate everybody, and it's such second nature that I'm not sure that they realize just how terrible they are, and it's being played so perfectly by these two. So great work from them. Go ahead and get started here, but I do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us. I'd like to give a special shout out, of course, to Actuarial Lurker, Balas Voldez, Chris, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Surya Gundavarapu, and Weird Magic. Thank you guys. Appreciate you being here with us. If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we have watched or currently watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The Sopranos, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you watch the YouTube edits and would like to keep going, you can do it on Patreon. You will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You're only going to see and hear me for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock, Patreon exclusive.
Hey.
Oh, that's yeah, Meadows' friend. All right, Tony, just be a dad and not a mob dad.
OD. Friend says Special K and ecstasy.
Yeah, boy, these problems are worse now.
She's a little drunk.
341, repeat, you're breaking up.
I'm kind of surprised they haven't put anybody like security on the house, just one person. It's not like Tony doesn't have people.
In your grandmother's house.
It wasn't my fault.
If I had a
come
quarter
on.
for every time I heard that since you learned to talk, I'd have a private jet on 24-hour standby. Get in the car.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I'm not buying at all.
In your grandmother's house.
Now he's repeating himself.
Oh no. This is not the talk back time.
Just lucky I knew that cop, so he cut me a favor.
Let me guess, he owes you money?
Oh, she is poking the bear.
Let her go to bed. I want her to answer for herself. She's drunk. Was she driving like this?
I could have taken ecstasy, but I didn't.
That is...
So what did you say?
I don't know. I yelled.
Ground her forever. I mean, I get it. Parents deal with this in the real world all the time. When your kids don't listen, what do you do?
I want to walk. See if I run into any of the old crowd.
Oh, the David Proval, right? I love that guy. Shawshank, among many, many, many other things he's done. You know, he screams mob. He's a perfect actor for the show.
As a parent today, you are over a barrel no matter what you do.
A lot of Universal stuff in the show.
You ground her, you gotta stay home weekends and be prison guards.
And if you throw her out, the social services will bring her back and we be in front of the judge. With the laws today, you can't even restrain your kid physically because she can sue you for child abuse.
There has to be consequences.
You can do consequences without child abuse.
The other two stores doing as good as this?
Come on, it's a grind.
Still clear cut already.
I'm not some greaseball store owner. I'm sorry, Richie. I will not be shutting down.
Sucking up to Tony Soprano has done wonders for you.
So this is not a friend of Tony's here.
I'm being shaken down for what? What did I do? Tell me, what did I do? This is not right, Richie.
Someone's about to catch this coffee pot on the side of his head, isn't he?
Let her sleep. You guys are making too much of this. Oh, no, I don't think we're making enough. She was drunk. Her choice.
Oh, butt out.
Okay, fine. You're punished.
For what? I didn't do anything.
Oh, that's not true.
And a bunch of people from Boonton.
Oh, so Steve's just walking around trying doorknobs till he hits the jackpot.
You guys, I know what I did was not okay. I've been thinking about it a lot and really not feeling good about myself, okay?
She's playing the game.
And I think you should take away my Discover card.
You better believe it.
That's right.
For 2 weeks.
3.
Wow, she just ran that whole scenario.
Why'd you get $10 a week? Cash. No more. Till you get your card back. For gas.
Oh, she just completely manipulated the situation. So the women in this family, that's what they do.
What do you mean?
Out of respect for our friend here, I'm gonna talk nice. I ever hear you raise your hands to my niece again.
Oh, I thought that was her in the car.
I shouldn't have to explain myself. I'm from the old school. You want to raise your hands, you give her your last name.
Oh my God.
Hey, have you been?
Oh, come on, don't be a child. Very good.
Look good.
Where your friends go?
Yeah, tell them to come back. Join us.
No, they're leaving.
It's my first time here. The veal is excellent.
What are we making, small talk now?
Tony.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.
I saw a patient that I never wanted to see again. That's who I was hiding from, a patient.
Just plain C.
What's the difference?
That's true, yeah.
Treating patients from a motel room may not have been optimum, but you were still there for her. You were in phone contact. Would have been the same if you'd been on vacation. Did you say lamb?
Yeah. She was hiding from mobsters.
What's mine is not yours to give me.
Hey, prick, you reached out to me.
I said what I wanted to say.
Well, yeah, this is going to get rough.
Gotta be extra, extra careful.
When do you know me not to be careful?
When you're just in prison.
Hey, there's no need for that kind of talk.
What?
My sister.
Janice, how's she doing?
Is he going to start hooking up with her to get back at him? So she's having her disability check sent to the house.
Thought you didn't swear.
What are you talking about? I'm outraged. No, I am beyond.
Oh, this is good. She's actually mad now.
Are all of you Sopranos the same? I asked you nicely to stay out of it. You're pretending you don't hear me. Well, maybe you're going to hear this. Keep your mouth shut when it comes to my kids. All right?
Yes. Good.
Maybe I've stayed here too long.
Maybe you have.
I'm a grandfather now, Rich. Imagine that.
Please, no pictures. Exploiting medical curiosities is against the law.
Oh my God.
Hey, come on, please, no guns. Come on.
Please? What happens I'm no greaseball store owner, huh? Tell me again how you want to lay down, huh?
What are you doing, man?
I just wanted to apologize.
You shouldn't. I don't feel like you did anything wrong.
I'm still petitioning the State Department, but I think they have me on their enemy radicals list. When was the last time you saw Harpo? He changed his name to Hal.
Yeah, you named your son Harpo.
I'm sorry. I can't let you leave. Really, I want you to stay. Okay.
Just hire someone to clean the house. Really? Okay, yeah, so this guy's an animal.
I was in a private room. My Johnny would roll over in his...
Oh my god, more of this. My Johnny was a saint crap.
Don't you remember me? You used to yell at me for beeping my car horn when I came over to pick up Janice.
Oh, so they used to date then.
You know, someday somebody's gonna wash out your mouth with soap on.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you?
Well, even he can't stand her.
Is that how you talk to your mother?
Well, you lay the same trip on everybody who comes in here.
That's true.
Shoot your best shot.
Never you mind. Just remember what we talked about last week.
He's still on the DNR thing.
Are you coming back?
Yes.
I bet you're very good to your mother.
I doubt she's still alive.
You haven't heard what happened? Anthony's one of these people who blames everyone else for anything bad in his life.
Oh no, she didn't.
So, what's with the flowers, Mr. Candy Stripe?
That was a projection there.
Did you ever think you'd see Richie April doing a downward-facing dog?
Bad will this go if this psychopath starts dating Tony's sister?
I need $15.
Excuse me?
A Cole Porter CD. It's for Madrigals. We're doing 3 of his songs.
I'd make her do something for it. Yeah, as soon as you clean the garage.
Richie April.
Yeah, he went to visit her. You know he always loved Mom.
But I gotta go.
Yeah, the Janice, like, Tony blames everyone else for his problems, while she is the least gracious house guest in the history of the world. Oh no. Okay, that did not happen. Never mind. Is my man hallucinating now? Oh, okay, she's the one dreaming. Never mind. That was an angle I didn't see. Largely because more than half the scene was on him. And usually in your dreams, that's not the case. You're usually the star of them.
You gonna let that animal get away with this? I'll let you talk to your friend.
Tony and Richie are going to be heading for a collision for a while, aren't they? This doesn't feel like a one-episode arc for Richie either. Not with Janice.
Because the law knows that was no random hit and run.
Hey, don't start talking foolish. We're old school, right?
Yeah.
We wash our own dirty laundry.
Yeah, probably passed out.
So you're here to see your ma? Hey, I hear she's upstairs.
No, I came here to see you, you prick.
Yeah.
And you better pay me the respect that I gave your brother, or we're gonna have a problem. A bad one.
Yeah, this is going to get ugly. Oh, Meadow. I'm really surprised to see you doing this. This is actually really sweet of her. She actually does feel bad. Well, that makes me feel good. Meadow's not a terrible person deep down. um, I really like the character of Richie Arpile. I think I think he's going to be around for at least a little while, and I really like the fact that Junior's kind of locked up, but there is a new adversary for Tony. It seems to be a formidable one. He didn't seem to want to back down from Tony at all. Doesn't seem to care about much of the rules. Guy's been in prison for 10 years. Wasn't it Paul you said you're going to be a little messed up after 10 years in prison? Interesting that we put Sal wearing a wire kind of on the back burner for this episode. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe they are going to play this out very much in the long game with him. Yeah, huge lack of self-awareness for Janice, huh? Tony's one of these guys who just never accepts responsibility for his own life and blames everyone else for his problems. That is very, very strongly lack of self-awareness from Janice. That's kind of describes her apparently to a T. Especially since she's there to kind of wrest her mother's house away from her. That's really all she's doing there. That's why she showed up in the first place. She found out her mother was sick in the hospital and not really welcome to take her own house back. So then that's where Janice kind of snakes her way in. Olivia hasn't changed. She's still vindictive and hateful and just spits venom at anybody that gets too close to her, and then throws in that whenever she's actually upset anybody, I wish the Lord would take me, to put herself kind of out of the firing line and into the role of victim, right? Yeah, she knows how to manipulate everybody, especially her kids, right? they're mad at her. Oh, I just wish they were taking me, so that she knows what the response is going to be, right? Oh, no, no, Ma, you don't want to die. Blah blah blah. Janice did kind of call her on that. Like you played this game with literally everybody. Um, we've all seen it. Um, I mean, to be fair, she's been gone for 20 years and got there, and Tony was here every day for all of that time, and it took him, it took an assassination attempt on his life, and him hearing proof of her involvement in it before he finally wised up to it. I'm really curious to see where we're heading with Dr. Melfi. I'm assuming at some point, I mean, she's still on the show, right? Which I'm very glad about. I'm assuming at some point he gets back into therapy. She seems to be kind of slowly getting herself to that point. I think it's taking a long time, and it should, because I mean, let's face it, he threatened her, he terrified her. She had to go. I mean, she said herself, she had to go on the lam, right? She literally had to hide um, in order to feel safe because he treated her as a or she treated him as a patient. So curious what the final push is going to be for her to feel comfortable doing it again, and how it's going to be different, right? I'm sure there's going to be ground rules that are different, and everything. But I'm really excited to see where this is going. They continue to really impress with the storylines they set up. This is a great show for being able to bring in new characters, kind of at will. Beansy and obviously Richie. This episode, we brought Janice in earlier this season. I feel like we can kind of change it up a lot, and kind of keeps the unpredictability high as well. Lastly, what's Junior up to? Besides seeing the doctor, right? Besides still kind of de facto being in charge, um, he didn't really seem to give too much of a go ahead to Richie to do whatever he wants. But maybe that was the takeaway. Maybe I kind of missed the subtlety there, where Richie went to see Junior and said, "I'll do whatever you want," and Junior never said, do whatever Tony says. So maybe that was Richie kind of taking the cue from Junior, technically the boss, that Rich can do what he wants, right? He kind of has free reign. We'll see how that plays out. I'm assuming Richie isn't long for this world, but one never knows. I thought I was, wasn't. I thought Christopher might not make it out of the first season. I was wrong there too. Right, and we'll see you very soonly.